What's up, Skins Nation? Welcome back once again. It's the primetime show, Pigskin Facts, History and News. I am your host, Fred Watson Jr. We're at the end of the week, and we're quickly approaching week number 4 in the NFL on Sunday. And as you see, the two teams here, there was a game last night. Division rival Philadelphia Eagles played at the Green Bay Packers. And unfortunately, the Philadelphia Eagles won a nail biter. The score was 34 to 27. 34 to 27. They beat the Green Bay Packers. And that puts the Eagles at 2-2. Let's take a look at our division standings right now. Kind of embarrassing, but I'll show you anyway. NFC East, as you can see, Dallas, boo, is in first place at 3-0. Philadelphia, they won last night, so that pits them at 2-2. The New York Giants are sitting in third place at 1-2. And our beloved Skins are in the basement at 0-3. And this Sunday, we need to take care of business and do something about that. So that's the standings right now, and that's the way it is. So this week is definitely a must win for us. So before I go on and do the Redskins Giants preview, the Dallas Cowboys have a game, other division rival. The Dallas Cowboys, they have a Sunday night date with the New Orleans Saints. So Sunday night they'll be playing the New Orleans Saints, and I believe the Saints are favored in that game. They're playing in the Louisiana Superdome. So yeah, those my two favorite teams, the Redskins and any team that beats the Dallas Cowgirls. So hopefully the Saints will win and knock down Dallas a notch and give us a chance to get caught up. We're kind of behind right now, so the rest of the season is we got our work cut out for us, and we can't afford to go 0-4, 0-5. If we go 0-5, pretty much the season is over. So we're gonna have to really make a turnaround. I believe it's possible. Hey, the Houston Texans last year, they were 0-3, started out 0-3, and they ran off 11 wins in a row. So anything's possible. It's not impossible in this league. But right now, for our team, it's not looking too good, and we got a lot of areas that we have to clean up. A lot of things that we have to correct. And my personal opinion, we got a coach that we need to get rid of. So if we do that, then the biggest winner will be the Redskins organization. If we can get rid of Gruden and get rid of Manusky, then the Redskins will be the biggest winner then. But until then, hey, that's what we got to deal with. All right. Well, let's get into some facts. Starting with one of the old receivers of that group known as the Posse, Art Monk. Art Monk, Ricky Sanders, and Gary Clark. Art Monk's all-time Redskin records. We're going to look at that. He has the most career receptions as a Redskin at 888. That is awesome, phenomenal. Most career receiving yards, 12,026 as a receiver for the Redskins. And of course, he finished up his career with the New York Jets. But most of his NFL career he spent with the Washington Redskins. Most seasons, 1,000 yards or more receiving. He had 5, and he's tied with his fellow posse mate Gary Clark. Most games, 100 or more receiving yards. He had 36, another phenomenal mark. Most consecutive games of 100 or more receiving yards. He had 3. Most receptions in a game. The most receptions he had in a game was 13, and he's tied with Kelvin Bryant, who was a running back for the Redskins during the late 80s, early 90s. Most touchdowns in the game. Art Monk had 3, and he's tied with multiple players that had 3 most touchdowns in the game. Most yards from scrimmage, rushing and receiving. He had 12,358. And only 322 of those yards were rushing yards. The rest were receiving yards. And that, my friend, is our facts. And let's go to some questions. I haven't asked you guys any trivia questions in a while. And if you're watching for the first time, thank you so very much. So glad to have you here. Please go to the bottom, hit that red subscribe button, subscribe for me, and continue to watch. Those of you that have been watching, much love to you. Thank you very much. Thank you for supporting me. Keep it going. And if you have any comments or thoughts or anything about the show or anything you want to say, or even if you if as I read the trivia questions and you don't answer, feel free to answer. Feel free to scroll down at the bottom in the comment section and put what you like. I would love to hear from you. I haven't been getting any. So hey, just comment, scroll down and comment. Tell me what you think about the show or what's on your mind or what have you. Would just love to hear from you. Okay. Question number 1. What is the Redskins' woeful record in Monday night games, their last 18 games? What is the Redskins' record in Monday night football games? I will have the answer to that on the next segment and to the other 2 questions as promised. I do promise. I will promise. Okay. What 2 former great Redskins became a broadcast team for the Redskins for 23 years? What 2 former Redskin greats became a broadcast team for 23 years for the same Washington Redskins? And question number 3, who is the greatest punter to wear burgundy and gold, setting a Redskins record of 896 punts? Wow. That question again. Who is the greatest punter? Yes, I said punter. Punter. Who is the greatest punter to wear burgundy and gold, setting a Redskins record 896 punts? I will have the answers to these questions on the next show, on the next segment. And I promise you, you will be surprised at the answers. Okay. Now we're going to go to our history section. And before we move on, this show is brought to you by Arizona drink. That good drink, half and half, iced tea and lemonade. Arizona. It refreshes you, it goes down your throat good, and it feels good, and it tastes good, and it's cold, especially when it's hot. Arizona, the official drink of Pigskin, Facts, History, and News, and the official drink of Fred Watson Jr. Also, brought to you by, our history section is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. They're good with every bite, and there's nobody here, and they're mine. Reese's. Okay. History section. We're going to talk about, we're going to go back in time, and we're going to go back to the year of 1987. It was January 11th, 1987. The Redskins and the Giants, New York Giants, the same New York Giants, played in the NFC Championship game for the right to go to the Super Bowl of the 1986 season. It was January 11th, 1987, Giants Stadium, excuse me. It was Giants Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey, and the attendance was 76,633 fans. Giants Stadium was a house of horrors for the Washington Redskins on January 11th, 1987, with winds gusting up to 35 miles per hour. That's strong. With winds gusting up to 35 miles per hour, plus biting cold temperatures, Washington's pass-oriented offense was unable to get on track. Erratic quarterback Jay Schrader misfiring on passes that were redirected by the wind completed 20 of 50. That's horrible. With one interception, the Redskins ran only 16 times for 40 yards. The Giants, meanwhile, built a 17-0 first half lead and let their A-plus defense to do the rest to capture the NFC Championship game and to advance to Super Bowl 21. It was the only time the Redskins were shut out in Joe Gibbs' first coaching stint in Washington. And guess who the defensive coordinator for the New York Giants was in that game? Long before he became the great coach he is now, Bill Belichick. He was the New York Giants defensive coordinator. He wasn't even a coach back then. In the Giants, he always orchestrated the Giants to have top-of-the-line defenses, and we always had trouble beating that team. But Bill Belichick was responsible for that defense that shut the great Redskins out in that game. It was 17-0, and the Giants went on to Super Bowl 21 to defeat the Buffalo Bills 20-19. And that was our history moment. Our shining moment of the day, our gem of the day, takes us further back in time against these same New York Giants. It was December 19th, 1982. RFK Stadium was packed. It was cold, it was rainy, and it was snowing. Very cold temperatures in that game. I believe probably the late 30 degrees, in the late 30s, 30 degrees, 40 degrees, something like that. It was very cold. And that was during the strike-shortened season. And the Redskins needed to win this game in order to go to the playoffs. And in our gem of the day, with the snow falling on the ground, December 19th, 1982, the Redskins driving with time running out did not score a touchdown. They were trailing 14-12. The Redskins drove as far as they could. They drove all the way down to the 26-yard line when they stalled. Fourth down, 8 seconds left in the game. Redskins trailing 14-12. And the MVP, the NFL MVP, the only time that it's been done, was a kicker. And that kicker happened to go by the name of Mark Mosley. He comes in the game. He boots a 42-yard field goal that gave the Redskins a 15-14 win over the Giants that put them in the playoffs. And in doing so, Mark Mosley set an NFL record at that time with his 21st straight field goal. He set an NFL record with 23 field goals, and that record has since been broken. But back then, that was the standard. That was a record that had stood the test of time for years before it was broken. And that kick right there catapulted the Redskins into the playoffs, and they went on to win their first championship in over 40 years. And in a rematch with the Miami Dolphins from Super Bowl 7, this was Super Bowl 17, where they beat the Miami Dolphins 27-17. And John Riggins won MVP honors, the running back. He ran for 166 yards. But on this day, in the shining moment, the gem of the day, the Redskins pull out a nail-biter off of 5 field goals to the Giants' 2 touchdowns, and the Redskins win the game 15-14. And that was our shining moment, our gem of the day. All right, so we're going to go on before we go into our injury report. This is the history of the Redskins Giants. The Giants lead the all-time series 101 to 69 to 4. So they've almost beaten us, almost more than half of what we've beaten them. Almost, not quite. So the Giants lead the all-time series 101 69 to 4 and are tied with the Redskins in postseason play 1-1. For the third consecutive season, both teams have split their two regular season matchups. The Redskins won the first game last year at MetLife Stadium, 20-13. The Giants won the second game last December, which was an embarrassing turnout by our squad. They beat us 40-16. Yes, 40-16. In just 3 games, the Redskins' 2019 rookie class has already made its presence felt on both sides of the ball. Wide receiver Terry McLaurin is the Redskins' leading receiver. He has 16 receptions for 257 yards and 3 touchdowns. Very, very impressive for a rookie. And he's already set an NFL record for the first 3 games, having 5 receptions and a touchdown in each game. Wonderful. Linebacker Cole Holcomb, our 5th round pick, is second on the team in total tackles with 24. Impressive. And cornerback Jimmy Moreland and outside linebacker Montez Sweat, who recorded his first sack in the Monday Nighter against Chicago, are 5th in tackles with 16 each. 4 impact rookies making an impact. And times may not be going well now, Redskin fans, but look to the near future. I believe we're going to be dominant because we have 4 impact rookies that were just drafted, and they're coming in and they're making an impact on our team already. How many impact rookies usually come in and start? Not very many. So it won't be long before the Redskins are special. And of course, we have our quarterback that we drafted in the first round, Dwayne Haskins. He's going to be impressive as well. So I'm looking at all the positives. It's easy for us right now to look at all the negatives. I know that our team right now stinks. That's just an honest assessment. But there's plenty to build off of, and there are quite a few bright spots on our team, and we will build from that. And I believe once we get a new coach and get a new system, things will change, and that winning culture will come back to Washington. It's just a matter of time. Injury report: the Giants, Saquon Barkley is out with an ankle injury. So they'll be without their star running back for the next several weeks. Rookie quarterback Daniel Jones will be starting his second career game. Wide receiver Benny Fowler on the Giants, hamstring. Linebacker Tay Davis, a concussion. Linebacker Alec Ogletree dealing with a hamstring. Defensive lineman Olsen Pierre has a knee injury.